All right, so if you're gonna be doing any of the filling in these gaps, right, putting the mortar in, I always recommend going with these black gloves. It just makes it way easier for you to go through the day. As these start to get mud on them, that you can just throw these out in the trash and then grab another pair, as opposed to working with your bare hands, right? You getting and trying to go to find a sink or something like that, all right? And then I put it on these hawks. Like I said, I don't like to use the trays. And then if you're doing any DIY, I always recommend going with something that's already pre-mixed, meaning it already has the water in it. It's gonna be the proper consistency. You don't have to try to figure it out. A lot of times I see people try to guess on this stuff. They get stuff that has too quick of a drying time or too slow of a drying time, and they want to go on to the next phase. So you want to get a product that's gonna allow you to work, and then you're gonna know exactly what the drying time is gonna be, as opposed to putting too little water in it and now it ends up drying way faster. Alright, so I'll get one of these knives, I'll scoop some out, I'll put it on the tray, right? And then when I'm like getting it off the tray, I'm putting my index finger behind the blade like this, and then I'm pulling forward. And then if I want to fill in a crack like this, right? So it's really like a two-step process. It's applying it, which is gonna look sloppy, and then it's going over it. So you see I just cleaned the blade, and then I'm trying to get all the excess off. That way it looks smooth. All right, two-step process. If it's a situation where I want to feather the edge, meaning that I want to have this be, I guess, smoother, and then this kind of be built up, instead of me putting my index finger in the center, I'll put it at the bottom as I go across, and all the force will get all on this side, as opposed to having it all in the center of that taping knife. Right? And then I'll take all the excess off, and I'll reapply it back to the wall. And I'll keep doing that. But I'll only do it if I'm not getting contamination. Luckily, this place has been vacuumed and cleaned, so there's nothing to really worry about. But if you start getting a lot of contamination, you don't want to keep trying to reapply it to the wall. You just want to throw it out and then scoop back out the bucket. And then I always recommend, in between, just so that you don't end up drying the top layer out, I always just put the lid back on lightly. And then at the end of the day, make sure you put it on tight, go all the way around that perimeter, because if not, by the time you come back to use the rest of it, it's gonna be dried up. All right, so. And when I'm going across, I normally like to do one solid stroke, right? So instead of me trying to do like maybe here and then do over there, I'll try to go one solid piece. That way there's no line. So if I do like this, you'll see every point where I come off the wall and make contact, because the surface tension to end up pulling the material off. So it's better if I pass like this. If I'm too aggressive with the angle that I approach it at, I'm gonna start pulling off the material that's on the wall, right? And then if I'm too loose, let me apply some more. If I'm too loose when I'm going over, I'll end up having too much material left behind, right? So you see in this area it's still bulged out. So you'll have to kind of practice with the angle, what feels comfortable for you, because everybody takes a different approach. Even as far as holding this, one of the keys I always recommend, no matter what technique you decide to hold this, like this or like this or like this, that at the very least you keep your blade clean as you keep working. All right, and I typically work off one side, so you'll see this side looks pretty clean, and then this side is the dirty side, and I'll just keep doing it all day, because the last thing I want to do is flip, and now I got to put my index fingers on my, you know what I mean, or these two fingers on, you know what I mean, the wet side. So I try to keep this side of the blade clean, do all the passes that I need to on this side. All right.